Hey, Scruffy. Dinner time again. So, I don't know if you're hungry or not. So I found out, or I think I figured out why Scruffy hasn't been food motivated the past few days. He's been gorging on the cat food, dry cat food that I keep out in storage here. So I found the bin today. I was coming out with his water, and the lid on the big giant plastic storage container had been removed off the big giant container that stores all the kibble. Nice, Scruffy. And yeah, so the cat food, the dry cat food, was wide open to be eaten. And so I presume Scruffy's been eating that for at least the past 3 days. And that's why he's not been hungry at dinner. Now, what I don't understand is how the bin got open. So it's a very, very big plastic bin, which has... Scruffy's gonna cough, I think. Yeah. Yeah, it seems Scruffy sometimes coughs when I wake him up, and he comes right over from waking up. So yeah, anyway, the plastic bin has two hooks on the sides that keep the lid attached. So you actually have to pry off the hooks in order to be able to release the lid. And I don't think Scruffy would have figured out how to unlatch the hooks from both sides. I don't even think he'd be able to figure it out at all, even with, there was one thing, and I'm not even convinced he'd be able to get the lid off by himself, even if there was no latch. So I'm thinking maybe a raccoon figured it out, and they have much more ability to manipulate things with their hands. So I'm thinking maybe a raccoon figured out how to get the lid off, flipped the lid off, got into the food, and then just left it. And then Scruffy's been eating it ever since. So I don't know exactly when this happened, but I was checking I was going through the old footage, trying to figure out when it happened, and I was able to verify that when I came out for lunch a few days ago, the lid was off. So I caught a little glimpse of the lid under the table on the ground. Yeah, I don't usually film that section, but yeah, I happened to, because Scruffy was sleeping near that potted plant on the other side. It allowed me to be in a position where I could actually get a glimpse of the lid, and maybe that's why he's been sleeping over there, because there's food in that direction. So Fortunately, I only caught a glimpse of it, I think, in one video, maybe two, and those were the last 3 days, which coincide with when he's not been very hungry. I went back further, and the last video I got that would have had a shot of it was a week ago, and the lid wasn't there, so it's been off no more than a week, so that's good. I presume it's probably been the last 3 or 4 days, basically coinciding with when he's not been hungry. So I put the lid back on this afternoon when I brought out the water, after I saw it, and then yeah, I guess we're gonna see what happens. So I'm guessing Scruffy probably already ate today, because yeah, basically it's eat anytime he wants. So I'm guessing he probably ate in the morning, ate all day, ate all night, and so he's probably not that hungry right now. Didn't eat this afternoon because I put the lid back on, but he's probably had plenty of food. So tomorrow, maybe we'll start seeing the behavior change, where he starts behaving a little more normal. And fortunately for him, he got used to having a lot of food, and he's going to have to go back to what I normally feed him, which is probably not what he wants. But yeah, I'm guessing he's been gorging himself for probably the past 3 or 4 days, so he's probably been putting on weight. And yeah, I don't know if it's good for him. I can't tell. He has so much fur. I can't tell if he's fatter or if it's just the fur. Definitely seems lazier. And so, unfortunately, poor Scruffy is going to have to go back to a diet of what I feed him, or what he catches. So I just saw a squirrel this afternoon running across the fence. So yeah, Scruffy's not keeping the critters out because he's no longer food motivated. And a piggy cat. So hopefully he won't harbor a grudge against me for closing the lid. I think actually I need to, before I go in tonight, I need to find something heavy and put it on top of the storage bin, so if there is a critter that's clever enough to get that lid off, maybe it'll be hard for the lid to come off if there's something weighing it down. So if they get the hooks off, they still won't be able to get the lid off. So I had to find something that's moderately heavy. Not sure if I'm going to be able to find anything, actually. I guess I could put one of those pieces of wood. See if that does the trick. So that's first piece of excitement for today. So let's see, the second thing to talk about was, let's see, my run last night. So it was a horrible run. I tried to do a long run and that, yeah, didn't work. I probably should have just did a short run. The weather was not too hot that late. So I thought, okay, I'm actually feeling, I thought I felt good. So I thought, okay, I think I can manage a long run. Even though I'd done a long run 2 days before that, and I just did a kind of a tough bicycle ride the day before because I went up that really steep hill. So turns out I was wrong. So yeah, it was a kind of a struggle. I actually gave up after 3 laps. It was kind of going so slow. I felt it's not even worth trying to push it forth. And I saw, yeah, there was actually quite a few people out at the park. I think there's actually more people out at the park than there were the other day when there was that big event with the rock climbing wall and the movie, and yeah, the booths and stuff, and the roach coaches. So yeah, that was not well advertised. I did not hear anything about that. I don't remember seeing any signs. I don't think I've ever seen anything in the mail about it. And yeah, it was kind of on a weird night. It wasn't. It's kind of an off day, so I don't know what they were thinking, but so anyway, yeah. So there was no event last night, but yeah, it looked like just some random people were organizing their own events. There was a big youth group there. Looked like they were either high school or college students. I'm not sure what they were doing, but they're all getting lined up. Looked like they were getting ready to take a big giant group photo or something. There were a lot of them. And yeah, they had a big, yeah, they had set up some tables, I guess, to organize things, and yeah, they had a whole bunch of Krispy Kreme donuts on the table. And so they hadn't opened them yet, so it looked like they were going to serve them after they were done with whatever they were doing. I didn't quite figure out what they were doing or who they were or why they were there. I guess I could have asked, but yeah, whatever. Okay, I think we're going to get Scruffy his food, even though he's probably not that hungry. Ready for food? He's really quiet since he's not hungry. All gorged from too much food. And that might explain why he's been so thirsty the past few days. Eating all that dry kibble. Needs some water to go with it. Yeah, he's not enjoying the pets or the brush right now. He's kind of looking at me. Okay, now he's finally eating. His fur's not looking so good today. Okay, I'm done. So yeah, anyway, I came out with the water, and then I noticed the lid, and I had to put down the camera so I could put the lid back on and figure out what was going on. And I did inspect the kibble bags. One of them was it's kind of open at the top, but I don't secure it very well, so it could have just been naturally unrolling itself to become exposed. I don't know, but I think an animal probably got it unrolled and was eating a kibble, including Scruffy. And the bag wasn't torn though, so that was interesting. Actually, if I recall, the bag's actually made of pretty tough material, so it actually be. I guess a raccoon probably could figure out how to rip it, but I don't know if a cat would be strong enough. But anyway, yeah, I put the lid back on, and then I think Scruffy was watching me, so he was back in the corner near the potted plants, and so after I was done, I got a shot of him, and he just looked at me, sat there. Then I came back in, looked at the water for a little bit. He didn't come immediately, so I closed up shop, and then when I looked out the kitchen window, I didn't get any footage of it, but yeah, he was at the water bowl, so he waited, I think, a couple minutes. So anyway, let's see what else has been going on. Oh yeah, so yeah, yesterday at the park. Oh yeah, so on my way to the park, I encountered the friendly cat, and so yeah, this is an interesting story. So the friendly cat was in somebody's courtyard again, but I saw his head was up, so he was actually awake. And so I saw he saw me, and so I stopped on the sidewalk and I just looked at him, and I was curious if he'd come over for pets. Because yeah, he's such a friendly cat, I thought, yeah, there's a chance he actually might come over. And sure enough, after a brief pause, he actually did get up and he started walking over. It took his time, so he started walking over, and then he was walking through the house's yard, and he stopped at different points, and then he'd scratch, and then he'd continue walking over towards me, and then eventually he came all the way over to me, and he was meowing too, and then yeah, he let me pet him, and then as I was doing that, I saw the friendly cat's pal, the black and white cat. He suddenly ran into the yard from, I think, the house next door. And he, I think, saw me and the friendly cat. And I know that cat is usually a lot more skittish. He doesn't seem to like people as much as the friendly cat, but I don't think he's like terribly afraid of people either. So anyway, usually he keeps his distance from me, but when he saw that the friendly cat was had come over to me, the pal decided, I think he was jealous and he wanted a piece of the action, and so he started approaching me as I was petting the friendly cat. But yeah, he was a little cautious, so he didn't come over immediately, but he was kind of walking over towards me. And then from behind, from the street, a third black and white cat then suddenly dashed over, and I think he saw me petting the friendly cat, and he wanted a piece of the action. And so he came right up to me and walked right past me, and basically looked like he wanted me to stroke him as he was walking by. And I think I've seen this black and white cat before too. I mentioned I got confused a few days ago, I think, when I saw both the friendly cat's pal and another black and white cat sitting in front of the same house. And I think I may have seen this black and white cat before, but I was having a hard time telling the difference between the two. This time I got a better look, and so this third cat, is a much smaller cat. Looks like it's probably a youngling. It's not. I would say it's not a small kitten anymore, but I think it's not a full-size adult yet. Oh, Scruffy's almost done. He didn't clean the bowl, so I gotta move the balls. Yeah, I think Scruffy is gorged. Stop moving the balls. So there's a bunch of pate still. So I don't think Scruffy wants to eat. So anyway, I was basically petting 3 cats because, after they saw me petting the friendly cat, they all wanted a piece of the action. So that was interesting. And then I actually saw a few more cats that night, but I think maybe I'll continue that story another night. I'm going to leave the food out a little bit longer, so I'm going to go in and then I'm going to let Scruffy have a chance at cleaning the bowl, and then I'm going to come out later and bring it in. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.